Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Katyayani, very familiar name. This is sixth day of Chaitra Navratri. You can literally say sixth stage of spiritual science. We have come to go beyond sun itself to Mars level. Now let's start again. The first thing which I believe is absolutely essential for spiritual growth, when Chaitra Navratri would play a role of Uttarayanam, moving from lower to higher levels. The first truth is, we human beings are the creations of the divine nature as a perfect replica itself. We are made in the image of God, and as you see the picture of spiral galaxy, there are 10.344 spirals, and which is I make from Devyank as such. They are not 10 or 11. To understand the level of Devyank, we have to rise slowly from zero level of the mind to the Shailputri, Brahmacharini, etc., 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 to reach the highest level, which we are going to see slowly. But mind is most important. Before that, indriyas are important, the senses are important. So let's say sensory nerves give you information from the external world as internal world as such. Then Indriya give you the information about the mind, how it's functioning. So manas is very important. But if the manas is absolutely in tune with universal consciousness, Aditi, you will have no confusion whatsoever. But if you are not in tune with Aditi, indwelling consciousness, Kundalini or Antaratma, you could make all the mistakes and others. So Indriya will give you information, mind will give you the difference between right and wrong. Only totally controlled mind, vibrant mind, is able to bring philosophy and then to science or buddhi or intelligence. And from that going to intuitive wisdom of universal consciousness, and to the universal consciousness is the evolution which yoga is talking about. Union of Jivatma with Paramatma is yoga. Akhand Yoga has 10 stages, with the Patanjali Yoga Sutra Ashtanga Yogi. Ashtanga Yoga takes you to the control the mind. That is the preparation stage. It's not talking about Antramat, it just brings you to that level of spousal or appraisal, or you can say sprouting of Ankur of Antaratma comes after 8 stages of yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, reaching right up to Samadhi. Even state of the mind will lead you to realize the inner consciousness and give you prajna. That is what Ashtanga Yoga is talking about. It primarily centers around mind and Indriya and that information. And if the mind is disturbed, it is going to create all the kleshas. If the mind is perfect, intelligent, intuitive, remembering, then you can go to the higher level of Satchitananda. And that can be done only with human beings, because we are not designed like animals with a restricted thinking process. We have the most evolved brain, but unfortunately, 3 outer layers of the neocortex, what is its function, what does it do, is not known even to the neuroscientists of the world. They are totally unaware of it. Only person who has experienced it, used it as antenna to the universe as on today, is Shibhushan Sharma. But I know very well all the Brahmins of Akhand Bharat who have written Vedas, Upanishads, scriptures in Sanskrit were in tune with 3 outer layers as an antenna to the universal consciousness. That's what I'm going to show you next. Truth is, the outer layers are antenna to Akash Kosh, which has the records of the past, present and future as things have happened from the beginning till today. And what's going to happen tomorrow is also recorded there, because nothing happens without cause and effect. And we are today because of the past, and tomorrow is going to be good and present, and that is the journey all about. Past, present and future, 3 lokas are Three calls are always integral part because there is a consistency with that. From that angle, from a present scientific level, there is a Schumann resonance field which has got three spikes. Inner with Earth is 7.83 Hz, and that is the ideal thing to be produced to be in tune with universal consciousness. Now let me show you the picture. This is my EEG taken in Chetnad University with all the awareness, with everybody around me, my eyes closed and then eyes open, ears open, senses open, with all the world as it exists. In that situation, with everything in tune with me, I am aware of everything, but I am still producing 8 Hz frequency of alpha spindles throughout the brain, all the 64 parts with open eyes. This is a unique thing which ever happened in the history of neuroscience. No wonder my PhD in neurosciences is based on Kundalini Yoga, which I call it today to a level of Akhand Yoga itself. And this is the picture which can make me in tune with Schumann resonance field, Akash Kosh, and read all the information from there, not from the Google or other books available on the earth, which in my opinion are deficient. That's it. Now coming to the genuine statement. The concept of impeccable wisdom, Akhand Vidyashram, are founded on my personal spiritual science experience, and particularly with all the knowledge I have gained since my childhood, subconsciously, unconsciously, then superconsciously of the awareness of Kundalini as such, and that has made a difference. It is not a copy of something which others have given, it is only something which I have experienced and approved by my Antaratma as such. This is. And in that precept, I make it very clear. The entire universe as such started from Shunya, Atma, dot and zero from the very beginning, and that is what Rigved is talking about as such as a Shunya. And from that Shunya to exploration of divine mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology and sciences, I have come to Divyank in 2015 looking for perfection. Since I was trying to understand perfection, which is unusual otherwise, everybody is happy with the defective knowledge. Nobody wants to think whether it's right or wrong. Nobody wants to experience it. Nobody is even trying to analyze to eliminate all the defects which are giving them. But I have done it. I reached Divyank and I'm very happy about it. This was done 2015. And now we are going to talk about Goddess Durga and Mahishasura, which is connected with Chaitra Navratris, all the 9 days as such. And I say Navratri is also akin to Navagraha temples which we have with 9 planets. And in that particular context, I would say the one which is Rahu head is actually Earth, which is not seen as a earth in Navagraha. So, Rahu by and large is earth element. Now come to the Mahishasura. He is a buffalo demon and he had the blessings that no male, whosoever it is, even gods and others cannot kill him at all. He can be killed only by a female. Maybe he never thought a female could be more powerful than male as such. That is a misconception which is there. And I do believe from Divyank, male people can have 38.1966% of the potential, where the females have 61.8034%. Men are male, left brain, mathematical, logical brain as such, whereas females are right-sided brain with multi-dimensional personalities is the reality by and large. So as a result, Mahishasura started terrorizing everybody in all the lokas, whether it's called Bhumi Loka 7 parts, Antriksh with 7 parts or heaven with 7 things, 21 parts, all the 3 places. Mahishasura was including everybody, including gods, to kill them and put them under his dynamic, terrorizing rule. That is the time everybody got together, went to Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh and decided how to form goddess Durga who can kill Mahishasura. That's how Durga was formed. With all the energies, with all the Atmas of all the gods and goddesses, of all the atoms, elements and other things which are there in Rigved and other things, with that was goddess Durga created. I was under the impression till I started making this time from Mahishasura thing कि goddess Durga is with 8 arms, and whereas now I realize it is not 8 arms, it is 18 arms, and she is just like Adi Prashakti, which is the divine mother. 18 arms I always connect with Adi Prashakti, but Durga also has 18 arms. I did not know, I make it. And now that I know, let's understand how she is the divine mother of creation, all the perfection in the entire universe as such. Now this picture makes it very clear. Goddess Durga riding a lion, which is the king of forest, and she has got 18 arms. You can see Mahishasura being killed, lying on the earth, is a proof that it is 18 arms. And lion is the one which is important. When you think of the lion, if you think of Navratri, it's with the Leo thing which is connected with Surya again. Now this is temple of Chamundeshwari near Mysore. There are 7 levels only, but each level has got 10 pillars by and large. How beautiful were our ancient architects! The divine mathematics with which they created is phenomenal. And that's what I have tried to understand the external world done by the ancient Indian Brahmins and the people of Akhand Bharat, and then from there I am trying to make the science look perfect, impeccable wisdom. Now this is a picture from same Chamundeshwari temple, is the 18 arms, and you can see the light on the head also of 18 as such. But you have both 7 and 7 on each side, is all the same reflection. We will not go into detail now. Now, same as I told you, periodic table is the greatest discovery of chemistry of the international level, done by different people, other things. What I find is amazing, same temples, 7 levels, on the left side are 7 periodic tables. Periods are only 7, and as far as the groups are concerned, you have 2, you have 8, and you have 18. So this also spoke what is scientifically seen and what was spiritually described in India are identical. That's my emphasis on spiritual science. Both the things are identical. Only things which are identical is what I am talking about, where you cannot find fault at all. Where they merge together is something which I am talking about. I am not talking of confusion of any nature under come way. These are two poles of science and spirituality. Where there is merging is what I am talking about, and you see this. Now come to Adi Prashakti, is a picture which I have needs from the very beginning. In the center you can see now Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh created by Adi Prashakti, but you can see the lotus behind Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh are the 9 petals outside, and there are 9 petals underneath, and that is Divine Mother, 18 as such. Then you have the whole trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh is created by her as such. Now we come to the question of my voice of silence of Aditi or Kundalini talking to me as such. I am made to understand by my Atma, and of course Mata Vaishnavi you can call it, that after the battle of right over evil in the universe, Goddess Divya was advised to take birth as a human form, to take birth and realize in the human body, and shows Even gods and goddesses have to take birth in human form for further evolution. That's the most beautiful part. You cannot raise your level in divinity at all. Even the gods have to come back, take birth in human form. Only human beings can think rationally and move on. So Goddess Durga was also asked to take birth as the Vaishnavi in Kanyakumari. From there she has moved on to Trikuta mountain, my birthplace, and she is meditating there. I am going to show you as such. But she has taken the goddess form at 8 arms, which you can see the temple in Mata Vaishno Devi, Katra itself. She represents Agni Bhuta, oxygen. So I also show that oxygen is very important for survival itself. Brain cannot function without oxygen at all. That is the reality. So Ashtabhuja says she has the power. She has to have Asht. So leave it at that. And she is now evolving to 10 arms of Gayatri and of course to 18 arms of Adi Prashakti, or Chamundeshwari, or Durga original once again. Now you can see the Kanyakumari at the right where the 3 oceans meet together at that Triveni, Kanyakumari, where she was born as Vaishnavi, and from there she has moved on to Trikuta mountain of Akhand Bharat as such. Now having come to Trikuta mountain, Trikuta means 3 mountains of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh and external world, and inside the temple you have the picture of the Tatriya like with head of Saraswati, Mahalakshmi and Mahakali as such, which I am used to praying since my childhood itself. And then this is the Trinity which we are talking about. This is Triveni which we are talking about. This is Tri Ambika we are talking about. Then this is a picture of the Tatriya, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh put together with 6. Same thing is with Mata Vaishno Devi's picture, Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, but with 8 arms, not 6. Male with 6, females with 10, and she can go on to 10 of Gayatri. So 6 and 10 is again Divyank alone. But you can see the 4 Vedas, knowledge, Nandi, pure consciousness is there in this picture. I realized that when I was called by Mata Vaishno Devi to Sri Mata Vaishno University, wrote 2 books to reveal that knowledge. She is incarnation of Goddess Durga, having born as a Vaishnavi, and what it is all about. Next to the now, Aitreya Upanishads I am referring to, which is a copy of Rig Veda. And then soul talks about contemplating the person who is to be born as Lokpalan custodian. And soul thought of only 8 divinities within the body, not more than 8. This again makes me realize how wisdom is revealed through Vedas, Upanishads and the scriptures. And these symbolic representation pictures have made me see the wisdom as such. Then in Sanskrit description, I found the same thing beautifully. So there are only 8 divinities in human being. There are 5 are bhutas: Bhumi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash. Then you have mind, Buddhi, and of course intelligence, and of course reproduction, and also about Apana Prana. So this 5 plus 3, 8 is again combination of Durga, Divyank alone. I think that is what makes me see how beautifully in their language they had talked about Divyank as such through description. But nobody has looked at it because people have faith that all these pictures of gods and goddesses are man-made. No, the original pictures are done by the divinity as such, and those artists are great. They were called Brahman because they were in tune with Brahman. Now comes to Aditi. This is helium 4 and hydrogen is Surya, helium is Aditi, and that is what Rigved says, mother and daughter of Daksha the king is Aditi. Upanishads say Aditya's mother and daughter is this, and she is a beautiful Shakti with 2 arms, 2 protons, 2 neutrons, 2 electrons, and she is the human soul. She is Antaratma and Kundalini. She is my voice of silence, which has given me the perfect knowledge of my physical body as such to show what is the difference between right and wrong, asatya and asatya. That is only Aditi has given me. If she says, gives me an experience Satchit Anand, I know that particular experience, the thought is perfect, truthful, honest. And if it's giving me some Kailash, that means it is defective. So my body, with the help of Aditi, is able to say, this is right, this is wrong. Then I verify and then see the consistency universal. When I am convinced from every angle, this is impeccable wisdom, only that I talk. Anything which still needs to be, I leave it and rectify as I move on. Now come to the question of 7 pillars which I am talking about. The first pillar, as you say very clearly, is based on Satya. Astoma Satyagami. That's the first thing. Now Ayurveda talks about 4 words: Dharma, Arth, Kam, Moksha. If you have to be Dharma, completely righteous, truthful, honest, non-violent, content, which Patanjali also talks about it, Gita also talks about it, all the Dharma talks about it. That the first step of Satya and Dharma is makes me feel, that is written in Advaita philosophy, when Jivatma and Antaratma become one. Aham Brahmasmi. That's what I made in the beginning itself. Then based on that concept, if you have Bhakti Yoga devotion, that I am separate from God, that God is going to help me towards that full faith of surrender to Ishvara Pranidhana, has made me realize the beauty of Dvaita. We should maintain that I am separate from God, I cannot become one God, but that's it. But how to benefit from Advaita and Advaita is the third philosophy I talk about it, where Antaratma is able to make me do my work, economic work, arthik, nithik, like that, all my karma yoga with perfection, and I get freedom from all the constraints and dressing, and that is what Tret Pravidya is all about. This is the third thing which I have spoken about it as Jivatma, myself, Antaratma, Aditi, and Paramatma, the universal consciousness. Durga you can call it, you can call Aditi, you can call it Adi Prashakti, all the divinities put together. That's it. Then after realizing the low difference between right and wrong, when I know the right way to think, that has given me the understanding of different philosophies. That is Gyan Vidya, which is a Chatur level. Having understood the philosophies, then I try to find in the scientific consistent approach to find the repetitive answers. That was the fifth stage which I have experienced. When I have done that to that level, I get consistent results come what may. That is a part of my PhD work as such. And that was a part of my research in pharmaceutical company, as a doctor, as an individual as such. But from scientific approach where you see consistency, I have taken it from relative world of science to the absolute wisdom where all the 64 arts come together. And that was the sixth level. But having understood that, understood those symbols of different nature as sixth level, then I looked at one divine mathematics, Ganit Vidya, which is consistent. And in the process, all the mathematical design concepts which West and East have spoken about it in man-made concept, I found defect. And from that I found Divyank is the one which is 7th level, and with that I understand the complete thing together. That is the 7 pillars that made me come from it honestly to the level of Divyank. Now come to the Shalputri, the first day. Being a Dogra, being a Pahadi, shall mean good. Good daughter is the first stage which comes as a mother, first instant. And that was I said, divine nature, that is the first stage. That means your mind, everything is controlled. Now as Shalputri, she is going to talk to me only as Aditi. Aditi is perfect, where Diti has defects. So Ditis have been removed, mind is made like a perfect, and now we are going to talk about that level as we move on from 0 level to the first level. And Shalputri is the first sprouting or ankur of spirituality as such. This is the beginning of rising from 0 to the 1 level, and that is the first day of Shalputri. Now that is connected with Mooladhara chakra, the first chakra. In this you can find the sound which is there is Lam, and there are 4 aksharas of Sanskrit language, and the picture which I have made you can see with now coming to the nervous system. It is connected with coccygeal ganglion as such, where 2 chains of paravertebral sympathetic system meet together at the bottom. Anyone who is able to bring the consciousness to Mooladhara chakra, coccygeal ganglion, you come to the perfection. And Kundalini sleeps there. When it wakes up, it makes you what you are going to see the very next. Now, as you come to the Aditi, Mooladhara chakra, when she is sleeping there, I can understand. When she wakes up, she makes you conscious of all the perfection within you. As a result, you could be perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise, and happy, blissful person. And those 3 things are there in these 3 prayers of Maharishi Yajnavalkya. Asto ma satya mein, take me from untruth to truth. Tamso ma jyota, from darkness to light. Mrityu ma, from death to immortality. When I talk of immortality, moksha, I mean even after your death, you will be remembered for your impeccable wisdom. And I am talking about Maharishi Yajnavalkya is immortal because I am able to show the beauty which I can experience. He is living within me even today. Now she is connected with Mother Earth again, as I told you. Rahu head and Bhumi earth is same. In Navagraha you can see Bhumi as Rahu's head, and then connected with the vertebral column, vertebrates. It is a fish which is the first thing which is formed from zygote, which is mother's ovum and father's sperm together to form, and the division stage itself is the form of Matsya, the fish alone, and you can see the picture of earth and this. Then I show you the picture of Dasavatar. The first incarnation of Dasavatar is Matsya, only divine fish, and everything divine fish can take you to heaven. And beauty of divine fish is well known in all the scriptures, how she saved, but she lives in water and makes immense work. Now come to the Matsya. You can see the picture very well in this picture of Akhand itself. Then second stage is Brahmacharni. When I say a Brahmacharni is a great character. It's not a person asexual, it's a person who's a perfect consort for a Brahmachari husband. That's it. When Satyavan and Savitri become one, they become Brahmachari and Brahmacharni together as the perfect one for the world to get next generation perfect as such. I think that is the second stage of procreation, regeneration, to show that Bhumi Puja we have to do because we are getting everything from Bhumi at the first level. But ancestral debt, Pitta Rin, is done by getting married to Satyavan and Savitri together and producing lovely home, lovely children for the next generation is what Brahmacharni and Brahmachari represent as a great character, not as a asexual person, but in tune with each other in total consciousness. Only then you can be 100% perfect as union of each other and perfect couple. Satyam and Savitri are the one who can do wonders. Now come to she is connected with sacral parasympathetic. First one was integrated sympathetic system where apana prana plays very important. But second stage is sacral parasympathetic, and which is connected with the divine mother, love, care, etc. comes up from the divine mother as such, who is divine in every way. Brahma means great, Charni means character. That's it. Then come to the question of shloka. Is Vama Mag is a beach mantra and 6 lotus flowers. Mooladhara has got 4, this has got 6. That has got Lam, this has got Vam. And that's a picture which I have created. First is Satchakra Nirupanas. Now, association with the Venus planet is important because Venus is connected with love creation as such. So Venus has got Shukra as a Friday, and of course the male and female put together become the perfect couples, and that's it. Now come to the second stage of Vishnu is Kurma, and Kurma is tortoise, is the second stage of this, where all the churning of everything which happens within the mother, from amniotic fluid to apana to everything, is there in this picture I have seen. Once churning takes, good and bad differences you can make out, and you can take it to as high level as iodine itself, and that I have explained. Maybe we slowly will go and explain that also in detail. In this picture, right at the bottom, if you have the turn left side, you see fish, but if you put straightway, you see the reptilian brain, but upper part of reptilian brain is just like Kurma shape. So this is again spirituality science in a symbolic language also coming together to as such. That's it. Then Brahmachari is, as I told you, sacral parasympathetic is 3 of the 5 segments of sacrum which are important, and the sequence is again Divyank alone. Now this is also made me realize only when you are in tune with Brahmachari, then you know the perfect female menstrual cycle. As on date, I would say, except Shibhushan Sharma, no one in the world even knows about perfect female menstrual. No wonder today's girls are suffering from PCOD, infertility, and many other problems, and nobody is teaching them how perfect should be that. So, in this process, you can see very clearly the 3 days before bleeding are something which nobody talks about it. And this sequence of 3, 5, 8, ovulation 8, 5, 3 is what is the perfect, and that made me realize the beauty of moon itself. Now come to the center is Chandragutta, and Chandra means moon again. That was the moon is taking towards moon. So it is fire element. First is the Bhumi, then second is Jal, third is Agni. Now the picture you can see is what fire element in the third stage. So she represents the Chandra quality or the moon qualities. So as far as this particular concept is concerned, is with Nabhi Chakra, which has got 10 pellet. 4 plus 6 is equal to 10. You can see the wings again there. And there 10 aksharas of Sanskrit are here. 4 plus 6 plus 10. So 20 aksharas are known within these 3 itself. That's beautiful. And that's a picture which I talk about Agni going down to lower consciousness. Same thing which I have made my own self is there. Now, I told you which is connected with Chandra or moon, the mind. Once the fluctuations of the mind are completely eradicated, and you know the beauty of mind to be in tune with universal consciousness, that's where things start improving. If I have written a female message, because I understand moon's fluctuations should not affect, but for people who have a problem during Amavasya of depression and Purnima excitation, they have not control. But when you find yourself totally in tune during Amavasya and full moon, as such, that means you have reached the third level very clearly, and that is what Chandraghanta is all about. Then come to Vishnu's is a Vara avatar, the wild boar, which saved the life as such of the Bhumi is taken as Bhugol. And the picture is very clear, and that is what saving is all about. Now to come to the saving, you can picture of Vara, you can see as the blue trident as such, shape is identical. Then Vijayadashmi is the 10th day, and it is said even Rama could not kill Ravana till it was told that he has to be attacked in navel, Navi Chakra, only then he'll die. That is, Vishnu had mentioned it to Ram, you attack him in Navi, only then it can be killed, otherwise he cannot be killed. And that is a beautiful statement in Ramayana. What does impeccable wisdom mean? Let's now discuss about that in the next slide. Now I am talking about Chandraghanta is with adrenal gland, which is emergency gland survival. In this particular gland, the blood from renal artery enters through the capsule into the first layer, which produces mineralocorticoids, which is responsible for water reabsorption and maintenance of electrolytes. The second level is about glucose, which is essential for survival. Third, it produces testosterone, estrogen, which is required for complete. So these three things, three steroids make you the level of consciousness to make sure whosoever attacks, these will make sure that you can revive very well as such. But finally the same blood goes into medulla and produces catecholamine or sympathetic. That's the final attack to make sure that you will survive come what may. And this is something which I have spoken about in the Khand Sutra also. So as a result, 9 times when Ravana was attacked, he survived. But once he is attacked in adrenal gland, in Nabhi, after that he could not save because all the connections of surviving were broken it down. What a beautiful science and spirituality merging together there. That is what I am talking about. Now come to the fourth level, the Kushmanda. It's again, first Apana Prana is the first level. Now you come to Samana Prana. Kushmanda is connected with digestive system because digestive system is required for continuous supply of water, electrolytes, nutrients and everything which are essential for homeostasis. So we come to Samana Prana in from Nabhi to Manipura Chakra. That's the fourth level of spiritual science as such. Now come to the stage, it is Smana, you can see in the picture very clearly, there is Amrit in one hand and Karmandal in others. This is the water, all the ingredients which can give you Amrit as such means that. I think that's a beautiful picture whosoever artist has created of Kushmanda as such. Now come to the question, here also 10 petals like Nabi, so nothing much to talk about it. Now that was the moon. Now here it is Mercury. Mercury is again like a female, is a neutral planet, is neither male nor female. It has both the potentials of Kanya itself. Sukanya itself is there, and that is this particular thing. Now come to the fifth level of Skand Mata, the mother of six-head Kartik. This is the fifth stage of spiritual science. But here you can see she is holding the sun in her lap, which is Kartikeyan, which has 6 heads. And I make, with all the respect, I always sit in the lap of Mata Vaishno Devi only. I have never changed it. I sit, she saves me left, right and front. I have never moved out of her lap. I took birth in Katra to be in the lap of Mata Vaishno Devi only. And like here, Kartikeyan is in hers and I am in Mata Vaishno Devi. I think somewhere along the line we understand the continuity that divinity, divine devotion is very, very important. Now come to the structure of this level. Anhata Chakra has 12 petals. So 4 plus 6 plus 10 plus 12. You have come to the 32 aksharas as such by this particular level. And lower is the picture which I have made, upper is the picture done by Satchakra Nirupana, and here the phonetic sound is Yam. Lam, Ram, Vam, Ram and Yam. Now come to Skand Mata and it is connected with Surya and that is connected with Sunday. As such, we have come to the heart level where sun is important and sun gives you the oxygen and that is required in this particular level. It's a prana which is important. And during morning, Brahmani Gayatri and evening Rudrani Gayatri produces maximum amount of oxygen by plant kingdom in the sunlight is important, and that's the beauty which I have already spoken. Now that is what I am talking about, merging together of science and spirituality and the common factor from each other making a new process of spiritual science. Now come to the Katyayani, the present one, the mother of Skand Kartik. Again, 6th stage of spiritual science as such. But I have used the same Kartik, this is a mother and Katyayani is a mother. But in this particular thing, she has got 6 heads as such Katyayani. Again, very clear to what Katyayani is all about. Now come to the question of next level of Visudhi Chakra. You have come to a stage of Visudhi Chakra. It is not yum, it is hum. You can see H, it should have been hum, and it's 16 petals. So you literally get 4 plus 6 plus 10 plus 12 plus 16. You literally come to the 48 aksharas of Sanskrit by this level itself. And I think that speaks volumes. Now its connection with the Mars planet, the rising Udana Prana. We started Apana Prana in Muladhara Chakra and Samana in Manipura Chakra and Prana in Anhata Chakra, and Udana is to next level, to higher level. You are going to rise up, and that is what Katyayani is all about. She is also Divine Mother, which is going to raise us to the higher levels of consciousness as such. Now, having done that, I think in Vishuddhi Chakra, I realize that we are literally come to a stage to understand blue-black vapors which came from churning of ocean and how they started killing, and I have decoded that is talking about iodine, which is the 53rd element. When it is converted into anion, it becomes 54, like a xenon. That is the perfection it can give it. And how iodine as iodine and thermogenic hormone, and those things I've already spoken about in my other work, and that's it. Once that is understood, I think we are very clear to go to the next level of consciousness, which will go to the next stage as 7th level, which we'll talk tomorrow. Now this is last, let's not talk about it. Same representation is very beautifully done here. I think it's more than enough for the day. Thank you very much.